is Grissom in his major league debut. He's 0 for 2. It's a high fly ball, deep left field to the monster seats, and totally out of Fenway.
The Red Sox have finally made some waves in the MLB offseason. Big waves, I should say, because although I'm happy the Red Sox have started making more significant moves, at what cost? At what cost? So if you've been living under a rock for like the last 2 hours, Chris Sale has been traded to the Atlanta Braves. Jeff Passan broke the news first on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But in return, the Red Sox save, I believe, $10 million and getting back second baseman Vaughn Grissom. And my initial reaction is I like the trade for both sides. Probably more on the side of the Braves, but I'll talk a lot about that and more over the span of these next few minutes. In regards to Sale getting sent to the Braves, it's bittersweet because I was always a fan of Chris Sale. I always enjoyed the intensity he brought to any of his starts, or even him just as a teammate and being kind of like that vocal leader, as of just pretty much as an absolute madman that I think the Red Sox have been lacking in, like those kinds of over-the-top, very intense human beings on their rosters in recent years. Chris Sale, no matter what, will always be in the hearts of Red Sox fans everywhere for his contributions to the 2018 World Series and being the ace Red Sox fans were long looking for to pair up with David Price, pretty much finding that top caliber superstar pitcher after John Lester left for the Cubs back in 2014-15. And it's not to say I didn't like David Price. I love David Price. I don't care what anybody says. Chris Sale meant a lot to Red Sox fans. The pressure that he had going into next season, if he was still on the team, was, and it's been like that for the last few years because he signed that multi-year extension with the Red Sox after the 2018 World Series, and it was more or less pretty much it was a bad contract because of all the injuries he had to go through. He had to get Tommy John surgery after a bad 2019 season. He missed all the 2020 shortened season because of Tommy John surgery, and parts of 2021 where he came back for the playoff push, but he really wasn't like the Chris Sale everybody knew and loved. 2022 was just bad luck. He broke his finger off of a line drive by Aaron Hicks, and 2023 was his healthiest season. I think Chris Sale is going to be really good for this Braves team when you got Cy Young finalist and Spencer Strider, even though dude got absolutely rocked in the postseason. Has great stuff. I'm not going to say that he's a bad pitcher or anything like that, but I just think how he performed in the playoffs last year is very telling. So pretty much if the Braves don't face the Phillies again in next year's postseason, I think they'll be okay. With Strider, then you have Max Fried, who I believe is in a contract year. You have Charlie Morton, who's been just the veteran presence for that team. And Bryce Elder, who was an all-star last year. Concerning Chris Sale, he gets a lot of pressure taken off of him of being that ace that we all know Chris Sale could be. Now, as he's getting older, not so much, I don't believe, and it's not to say that as a bad thing, because when Chris Sale's healthy, he's still better than the average pitcher in baseball. And I think Sale still has years left in the tank. It's just a matter for him if he can stay healthy. And looking at it as a Red Sox fan, it sucks because how much I just enjoyed watching Sale pitch. And I got a chance. He's one of the few really like superstar level pitchers I've gotten a chance to see in person. I'm gonna miss Chris Sale. I really was hoping that he was going to be able to get his career back on track in Boston. But if it means I have to cheer for him out there in Atlanta, I got no problem doing that. I'm gonna always be a Chris Sale fan, and it's more of me saying thank you to Chris Sale for the 2018 World Series and just being him and pretty much thriving in Boston. A lot of players that play for the Red Sox sometimes say they have bad experiences and whatever reasons. It's hard to play for Boston. It's hard to put on a Red Sox jersey. It's not for everyone. I'm not like, I feel like that's common knowledge for a lot of people in baseball, and I think it's just because Red Sox fans are very passionate. I think a lot of people like to joke about other reasons why it's hard to play in Boston or play for the Red Sox and whatever. Like playing in Boston, if you play well in Boston, you will be beloved here forever. And Chris Sale is going to be remembered in Boston forever. So I appreciate all the strikeouts. I appreciate the World Series, and I appreciate him being that spark plug for the Red Sox and being kind of that, like, that physical embodiment of emotion for Red Sox fans everywhere during his time here. I need more players like that on this Red Sox team, and I love seeing that kind of passion for the game. So Braves fans, you guys got a good one in Chris Sale. I pray that he stays healthy, and I pray he has a bounce back season, because when he's healthy, I think Chris Sale can be right back up there, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Now for the other side of the coin, why did the Red Sox trade Chris Sale? Because Chris Sale had a no trade clause, and he exercised a no trade clause. I forgot to mention that with this trade to Atlanta happening. So he chose to go to Atlanta. I think they're actually going to go out there and try to see about getting one of those top line lefties as Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery. For me, I think I would probably rather have Blake Snell, as long as the Red Sox have a plan in place. And it seems like they do, because they addressed the second base situation with acquiring Vaughn Grissom. He is 23 years old, or he's going to be 23 years old in I think about a week. The good thing I feel for Grissom, there's a lot of optimism that I've seen on Twitter and just online in the aftermath of the trade, that a lot of fans are excited to see what Vaughn Grissom can do with the Red Sox. This dude's only like 5 months older than me, which is crazy. With Grissom, he was looking at a situation in Atlanta the last couple of years, or especially last year. He didn't get a whole lot of playing time, even though he was a highly touted prospect for him. Came up as a second baseman. They had him play shortstop for a little while to try to replace Dansby Swanson. Arcia ended up taking the job and having himself an all-star season. And from what it looked like on Fangraphs, his projection was that he was going to be the platoon left fielder with newcomer Jared Kelenic. Now instead, he's going to be the starting second baseman for the Red Sox. Getting a young guy like Grissom in return for Chris Sale, I'm excited to see what he can do playing more than 60 games in a given season. I think for him, having everyday reps in Fenway Park, and I feel just in an entirely different environment where he's actually looked at, instead of looked at as a kind of like a guy without a position, just, you know, trying to find a place to put him. He has a starting job for a team that was in desperate need of it. I feel like his value on the Red Sox has already started to go up, because now he's looked at as going to be the everyday second baseman, unless they're proven otherwise, but which I don't think is likely. I do like that they finally got a second base option that seems like that's going to be what they got going for themselves in the going into the future. And that extra money, I'm hoping, ends up turning into, you know, getting a starter, or it seems like the Red Sox, if they can land Teoscar Hernandez. But if the Red Sox can land somebody like Teoscar Hernandez, it seems like that would be more likely to them trade one of their young outfielders, Jaron Duran, Kadani Rafaela, if I'm saying his name correctly, which I think I am. And even also, I've seen rumors about Kenley Jansen potentially getting traded, which is like another 16 million that they can take off their books, or at least a portion of that. But it seems like the Red Sox are going to be very intrigued and interested of signing a top of the line starter, or at least trading for one. But I think it's just what the moves the Red Sox do after the fact, because you kind of started jumping the shark a little bit already, because you traded Chris Sale, which was surprising. I don't think anybody really saw. I didn't see a whole lot of rumors about Chris Sale potentially getting traded or anything like that. Very intriguing to see what the Red Sox go from here, because they already traded for Tyler O'Neill. Now they acquired Vaughn Grissom to kind of shore up that infield a little bit, or at least shore up second base, which has been something they've been trying to do for a while. And they signed Lucas Giolito last night. I need more out of the Red Sox. I don't think there's still plenty of issues that the Red Sox need to address, but as of right now, I think this was a good trade by Craig Breslow. I think the Braves did a good job of really strengthening up the rotation a little bit. Getting another quality starter when he's healthy, Chris Sale will do wonders for the Braves. And the Red Sox bringing in Vaughn Grissom is great to shore up their second base situation, and also to be able to get a little bit extra money to kind of play with the free agent pool of starters, and potentially bringing in an extra batter too to support Rafael Devers in that lineup. So MLB offseason is really, it's at a high right now. It's been quiet the last couple of days, but right now this trade is pretty much just all over the place right now. Everybody's going to be analyzing it and everything, but I wanted it to serve more as an appreciation for what Chris Sale did for the Red Sox, and my excitement for him to see how he's going to do in Atlanta, and also my excitement for the Red Sox to see where they go from here. now that they're kind of shifting away and kind of starting to shape up their offseason just a little bit. There's still plenty of moves they got to do, but I feel like this is a step in the right direction, even though it's bittersweet at the end of the day.